I figured today we'll catch up on this Suburban. What's going on with that project, where we left off, what's next for it, just kind of some overall thoughts on it. So if you're new, this is the first time watching one of my videos. This is a 1997 Suburban K1500. We ended up buying this 2000 Cadillac Escalade back here. $600. It was kind of running, had a misfire, but parts only. So I figure we'll go ahead and kind of get into it a little bit. Let's be honest, new cars, especially the new Escalade Suburbans, nightmares. You know, between the engine issues, transmission issues, all the other stuff going on with them, they really just aren't worth the money anymore. So I had been thinking about getting a new family SUV for a while. We looked at all sorts of things. We got rid of the Range Rover. And after looking around, there just wasn't really any newer SUVs on the market that I was a fan of. You know, if you're familiar, I used to work at GM dealerships. I'm not really, I like the looks of the new Yukons, but the reliability on them sucks bad. And you just can't justify spending 80, 90 grand on a new Yukon for it to be in the shop instantly. So being a 90s baby, I thought back, summoned my inner child, and thought about it. If y'all are like me, I grew up in the 90s. My parents were not minivan parents. They were into sport trucks. If you remember the custom trucks you could buy from the dealership, you know, fully modified, wheels on them, paint jobs, stripes, you know, whatever it may be. You know, the Mark III conversions, the choo-choos, the Southern Comforts. You know what I'm talking about. So, back then, I remember seeing my dad pull up some pretty cool stuff. You know, they had the trucks with the matching jet skis, you know, sported out. And then one day I laid eyes on a, let's say a 97, I forget what year it was, black and gold Suburban K1500, Eagle alloys. You know, the wheels stuck out about yay far from the fender. Thing looked like a tank. It was awesome. And that resonated with me as a kid because I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Back then, you know, it looked like a tank. They didn't have Hummer H2s or anything like that yet. So the Suburban was pretty much it. And it kind of set off something in me that, you know, I just always liked the Suburbans, the Yukons, the Tahoes. And then the Escalade came out when I was like 10, and I thought that was pretty cool. So as I got older, you know, it's been in the back of my mind, you know, I want another Suburban Escalade, something like that. So after selling our Duramax, if you've seen those videos, big diesel Duramax on giant tires, was pretty much a monster truck. When I sold that truck, I pretty well knew I wanted to go build my Suburban finally. So I found this one. It's a 97 K1500, 5.7 Vortec. Has almost 300,000 miles on it. The price was right. Ran and drove, had a misfire. Same story as they all have. So I got it. And I kind of let it sit for a little while I thought about what I wanted to do to it. But ultimately, the idea came to me. So me and my buddy Cody ended up making a little road trip. We went and bought this Escalade for $600, which then got put onto the Suburban here. But that was this. I'll insert a little picture right here so you can see what it used to look like. But ultimately, my idea was to take an Escalade, strip everything off of it, and then put it in the Suburban, which you can see we have a good start on it right now. I went down to 9 Line Auto Salvage in Florida, picked up a new fender because this one's kind of crinkled so the door hits it when you open it. I got these replica 24-inch Cadillac Escalade style wheels. We got the little Cadillac logos on there. So that way we can do a throwback but modern Escalade take on this. You can see we have some of the cladding mocked up, kind of just put in place. I started building out this panel, doing the extension on it. We got this one mocked up, so I need to do the fiberglass on this. But you can see, I mean, it's legit. So from there, I started thinking about the inside. I put the Escalade door panels on the front because they bolt right on. Granted, a lot of this is going to get cleaned up. We might dye the whole interior black. I went to my buddy at Gmt400. He did the steering wheel for me. We did a nice little Escalade Cadillac emblem in the steering wheel. Full custom wheel. So Gmt400, he hooked that up. But otherwise, it's pretty well a stock Suburban in here. You know, lots of wear, 300,000 miles, the seat's torn up. We have new seat upholstery for the Suburban back there. But we might end up doing the Escalade seats in here also. I think that'd be a nice touch. We have the Escalade console we're going to put in. So you can kind of get the idea. You know, do the Escalade seats, Escalade console. Probably just redo everything in black. I cut out the stock grill, put this mesh in here. We did the hood ornament from like a 02 Cadillac DeVille DTS. Just because that was one of those things I really wanted to do on here, was have a big ridiculous hood ornament on it. So I figured I'd at least go correct. I got the hood ornament off a similar year Cadillac to put on there. We got new headlights. And again, 24-inch wheels with some nice new all-terrain tires. But as you can see, we need to finish the cladding on this side. So the way this cladding attaches, we have these brackets here. The cladding hooks over the top here, and that's two-side sticky tape to the bottom. So from there, we really just drill out these rivets or grind them out whichever way. Once we pull the bracket off, we put some tape along the door on that body line, mark off our holes, transfer it over to the other door on the Suburban, mark it off, drill it, put the brackets back on. And just like that, we switch the brackets over. Where the hard part comes in is then we chop this rear bracket here to extend it for the rear door on the Suburban, because the rear door is longer. Then we move all our other pieces over where they are accurate. You know, basically just using tape along the body lines, you can pretty well get a good idea of where everything goes. You can pretty well tell this has been sitting for a while. I haven't really gotten to it. It's been kind of backburnered a little. But we have the factory Escalade wheels from 99, 2000. And I do have all the 4 center caps for it. So hypothetically, if we wanted to, we could put the stock Escalade wheels on the Suburban over there. Pulled the engine and transmission out, gave it to one of my buddies because we aren't using that. We put the whole front clip over there on that one. But as you can see, we started stripping it. Have a little bit more to do. So that's our task for today, is finishing getting whatever we need off this one so we can scrap this thing and get it out of here. But 2 on our Suburban, as you can see, we changed out to rear disc brakes. So the rear end in here is out of a 03 Cadillac Escalade EXT. Granted, we had to chop up all the brackets because those are link setup versus using the leaves. So we chopped off all the old brackets, put new mounts on it to adapt to the leaves, and we're good to go, just like that. And if you have or haven't seen, I have this new engine to put in there. Used a few old parts, but then we have the headers. As you can see there, Headmans, however you want to call it. So really, as you can see, we're off to a pretty good start with the Suburban. From here, I'm probably going to start documenting the build a little bit more, a little bit better, and kind of go from there. It's kind of funny to think about. This build has been in my head for about 25 years now, and I'm finally getting to do it. So that's pretty cool. But can you imagine this thing, Riptide Blue, just driving down the street, school pickup line, 25 years later, like it was even relevant. Honestly, I could go on a whole rant about why older cars like this are better than modern ones that are designed to fail. It could be a whole rant. You know, plastic oil pans, just newer cars are designed for failure. They last maybe the warranty, and that's about it. Where we live, the Gmt400 platform, the Silverados, Sierras, Tahoes, Yukons, they are everywhere here. And most of them are nice. Like, the people that bought them brand new still have and drive them. So this just seems right, is the best way to put it. Can't really go wrong. At the price I bought it at, say I put 10 grand into it. Is one of these ever really going to be worth a whole lot less than 10 grand? It's not like I'd lose a lot on it if I wanted to sell it, which I don't see that happening on this one. But financially, it's not that crazy. I mean, beats the cost of a newer car. So if you want to do the math on it, figure I'm 7 to 10 grand in this thing by the time it's done. What's that, less than a year of payments on a new Escalade that's going to be in the shop the whole time? Who's winning there? And honestly, I'm pretty excited to actually start this build, you know, and really get into it. You know, 25 years in the making. I'm finally doing it. Granted, I know my lights up here are all screwed up, but that's the joy of the Escalade. The ones in there are perfect. So I can just pop those into here with a new headliner all done up. We're golden. Because ideally with this, even though it gets terrible fuel economy, I think I want to make this the new family road trip car. So just imagine this thing, Riptide blue, black interior, white stitching, you know, doing it nice. We'll probably leave the third row out since I don't really have a use for third row. So what I'm thinking is maybe do some of the marine wood in the bottom, just to kind of make it a little more utilitarian, nicer. Because we're going to be hauling stuff in here a lot. I don't really want to be dirtying up carpet. So I'll probably frame out some of the marine wood, you know, one of the 4x8 sheets, like you do on the boats. Throw that back there. Makes sense in my head. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but look at the legroom back here. I mean, there's probably a good 10 inches between the seat and the other seat behind it. So, delete the third row, put the wood down in the bottom, close in the sides back there below the windows, and put subs, speakers, on the bottom half. Alright, sorry, it's storage back here right now. There's my Escalade center caps I was telling you about. We got console lid for the Escalade, but as you can see how this side is all closed in right there. I'm thinking about doing the same thing on this side over here, but put speakers on the side. That way whatever's back here isn't really going to hit it because it's kind of up a little bit. Have a nice system in here. Do the wood on the bottom, and it'll be pretty nice. Actually, there's the exhaust for the Ram I was telling you about. It's a Flowmaster. And then we have the original Escalade grill I cut out to do the mesh. Air intake, all the usuals. So to say this is a long time coming is an understatement. We're going to be getting started shortly. So this is kind of the intro into it, what we're working with, how it came about. So if you want to see more on this, be sure to like and subscribe, follow along. That way you can see when we start uploading videos on this one. It won't be much longer.